Hey folks, thanks for joining me today for the 4 ways to use video to improve your sales process. I really believe that video is a very powerful tool both for conferencing and for sending videos throughout your entire sales cycle. And there are a lot of different ways that you can use video effectively to communicate with your audience and make sure that your prospective clients are feeling really taken care of, understood, and heard throughout this sales process. My name is Zontee, and I'm a digital marketing agency owner in Brooklyn, New York, and I am one of LinkedIn's top 16 marketers to follow in 2021. Let's go ahead and get started. The first place that you are going to, of course, want to be doing some video conferencing is during your prospecting calls. When you're speaking to clients about their needs and doing that needs assessment process, you need to demonstrate client understanding. So one of the things that I recommend that you do ahead of your call is to prepare several different tabs or pieces of collateral of your clients, their peers, as well as people within their industry that you think would be really great examples to be able to look at together on the call. That immediately demonstrates that you are knowledgeable and that you are credible and that you understand their specific space. The second thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that you've also prepared to share client case studies with some great frameworks or breakdowns on screen. With a tool like the one that I'm using right now, Prezi Video, you can actually share that right on the screen, but screen share is totally fine too, as long as you have those materials ready to go. The third area that you're going to want to take care of within that first prospecting call is probably a little bit about your own organization. You're going to have to talk about your team capabilities. So again, I recommend that you have a slide or two or some text on screen ready to go that talks a little bit about your key areas of performance so that it's easier for somebody to follow along on that live video call. And the other piece of this that I think is really important is that if you are going to have your team introduce themselves, make sure that you have rehearsed ahead of time so that everybody has the same depth of information. Everyone knows that they're going to give their name, their title, their most recent project, or talk a little bit about their experience in this industry, or talk a little bit about their knowledge within the space. But that way you don't have a huge variety where some people in your team are saying, here's my entire CV, and the other members of your team are like, here's one fact about me. Find that happy medium where people are all really comfortable and it's agreed upon ahead of time. Now, the next area that we're going to talk a little bit about is sending the proposal. You've done the prospecting call, you've prepared a document to send to the client. Now, this is a great opportunity for you to use a recorded video. Send a 1 to 2 minute video to the client with a little bit of information where you break down the key concepts that are presented within the proposal. You highlight some of those main takeaways and you anticipate, but don't necessarily answer some of the questions that may come up, indicating to them that you're going to have an opportunity to regroup and speak through some of those questions and encourage them to ask them. Now, why do you want to send a video with your proposal? I think that in this day and age, we have to keep in mind that the vast majority of our clients, they themselves are not necessarily the only decision maker. And even if they are the main decision maker, they probably need to consult with other people within their organization. Therefore, by sending a video, you have this tangible, really credible piece of collateral that allows them to share with the rest of their team a little bit about what you and your team is about. And I think that, as you know, so many people learn in different ways. There are some people who are really good readers, and there's some people who are very audio learners. And so by having a video, you have the opportunity to really put into words some of those concepts and make it more likely that within the organization, you're going to get good buy-in. Now, at the third stage, what we're actually going to plan for is a video meeting where we are going to do our proposal review. At the video meeting for your proposal review, one thing that I want you to really think about is make sure that your presentation is adapted for the format. So you can see that this is a horizontal 16:9 video. That's pretty typical when it comes to a video conference, right? And so in this kind of a situation, I wouldn't want to go through a deck that we wrote as a vertical document. It would just be too overwhelming. Instead, again, using a tool like this where you can put the text on screen or have a couple of presentation slides ready to go that are specifically for this presentation meeting, that's much easier for someone to follow. I mentioned earlier that in a video conference, it is always more difficult for people to concentrate. And that is going to be particularly true here. Proposal review meetings tend to be a little bit longer, right? We're talking at least 45 minutes, maybe an hour. In those situations where it's a longer meeting, it's really hard for people to concentrate. Or they might have email tabs and text tabs open on their screen, and that can be really overwhelming. So what I encourage you to do is make sure that you have text on screen, again, either in this kind of a format like I have here, or in a slide that signposts the key topic areas so that they can follow even if they get distracted for a moment. Make sure that you are breaking down your key information, especially any kinds of frameworks that you specifically use that demonstrate your expertise. And then finally, make sure that you prepare some appendices for discussion. Any topics that you know that you're going to have to go in a little bit more in depth into, again, make sure that you have some materials prepared. Some of the things that we like to do as a team is to, in fact, pull in some data that's available from third party or public data, and prepare that specifically for the meeting to demonstrate to our clients this is the kind of report that we would do for you if we were to engage, and this is what it would look like, and here's the value of it, but this is just a very abbreviated version so that they can start to see exactly what it is that they're going to get. And then the final stage in which I think that video is really helpful is, again, sending a pre-recorded video out to your clients for follow-up. So once you've had that review meeting, they've been sitting with it for a little while, you want to re-engage with them, or this is a client that you haven't engaged in a couple of months, they had told you last time, we like your proposal, but we want you to come back in a couple of months. Those are some great opportunities for you to, again, send a 1 to 2 minute personalized follow-up video that reiterates some of the points of fit and credibility within it. The other way that you can use these kinds of follow-up videos is if you have some amazing brand advocates, whether they are current clients who are part of an organized advocate program, or they are clients who would do you a favor, leverage them. Encourage them to send you a 1 minute, 30-second video that is personalized and speaks to this specific prospect and says, hey, prospective client, we're a current client. These are the reasons that we love working with these guys, and I know you're not going to regret reaching back out to them. If you have that kind of content that you can then send off to that client, again, it makes them feel more heard and taken care of. It makes them feel like you care specifically about them and that it is not a rote activity, right? The idea here is it is a personalized video that speaks specifically to them with their titles and their team members. And it really helps them to feel like, okay, this is a company that wants to work with us, that really cares about what we have to say. Now, those are just 4 of the different ways that we like to use video when it comes to our sales cycle. But as content marketers, of course, we are using video in so many other ways. If you would like to learn more about how content marketing can support not only your sales process, but also lead generation, please reach out to us. I'm at Zontee on social media, and our website is mediavalerie.com. Thanks again.